This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, Authentic Muay Thai Lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out.
Welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. Today is part 2 of how to train in Thailand. This was something that a lot of people asked me to follow up on, and now is the time to follow up on this and have our part 2. With our part 2, there's a lot of different things that kind of go into it. I know I touched a little bit about like where I go, just like some of the stuff to expect for training, maybe a little bit of budget and stuff like that too. But I'm going to go a little bit more in depth today about budget, how you can train there with me this year, actually in 2024. And if you are looking at going, what are some things to look for? How much should you plan ahead? And things of that nature. All right. Some of the questions I had from the past podcast was, do I need to be an advanced student to train Muay Thai in Thailand? And the answer is no. For the most part, Muay Thai is something that's still like, in Thailand is practiced all the time, right? They build people from day one, square one, day in and day out. And the fact of the matter is there's a lot of tourism that's in Thailand, and a lot of people, their first time experiencing Muay Thai is in Thailand. There's a lot of backpackers, there's a lot of people on vacation that actually, believe it or not, do travel to Thailand and go out there to go train, not just train, but they're on vacation. They see a Muay Thai gym and they see a Muay Thai camp. They want to go participate and they're wanting to go train in these facilities as well. With that, a lot of people aren't really the most experienced when they do step there for the first time. And a lot of people were asking me too, like, do I just have to go to Bangkok to train? And it really depends on where you want to go, what you want out of your trip. All right. If you're looking to get some vacation and go see the beach, by all means, you're going to want to go to Phuket or Pattaya. All right. Pattaya is great, is home to the Fairtex Training Center in Pattaya, Thailand. You get to train alongside of, people like Stam Fairtex. You get to see Y2K Fairtex, Smilo Sundell, and other big names and up-and-coming names that are there as well, such as Douglas Maunan. There is Celeste Muriel, who's fighting on one championship. And there's just a whole host of people that come through there. You never know who you are going to see there. I believe that Marat Gregorian was just there with his training camp to wrap up some training as well with his coach. With that too, you're getting to train alongside of them. You're getting that same training that they're getting at the same level, right? Next, when you go into like Phuket, for example, the beach is going to be a little bit nicer in Phuket. It's a little bit more like touristy. Pattaya is great. It's very beautiful, and it's close to Bangkok. What's great about it is you can fly direct into Bangkok. You can catch a bus direct from Bangkok right over to Pattaya. I want to say it's probably about $5 US for that transportation, or you can actually get a taxi or a private transportation, and is actually, for like American standards, is very affordable. I'd say around 45 to 60 US. That fluctuates depending on the currency exchange rate as well. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. Going to Pattaya is very easy for people to go there. And there is also the famous Sit Yat Thong camp that is there. Maybe not as tourist friendly, but is still very much like a gem of Muay Thai. And I recommend everybody makes that patronage to Sit Yat Thong that is from the USA. If you go down to Phuket, you have major training facilities from stuff like Tiger Muay Thai, where you can get good training at, but you're going to have to really like stand out, or you have to be an established pro, or you pay for private lessons. All right. So if you go to Tiger Muay Thai, it's your first time. Do not be discouraged. Take some private lessons. I highly suggest just investing in private lessons if you go to a camp of that size. Like if there's a trainer there you really want to train with. But if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering like, how do I get there and where am I going to go? So I'll assume that you don't book that, right? There's also other mega gym like AKA Thailand, Bang Tao MMA. That's also there, that just opened up recently in Bang Tao Beach. And the real allure of Phuket is that it's like a tropical paradise. It's a tropical island paradise. You can go grab the longtail boats, during the daytime. In between training, go hang out on the islands. You can go swimming on the weekends and things like this, which you're not going to get in Bangkok. And there is a trade-off with that, not only financially, but also the levels of training and the types of people that you're going to engage with. Again, if it attracts a lot of tourists, there's probably going to be a lot of tourists that you're going to be training with. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay, just something to think about when you go to these different training academies and these different training camps. When you end up at these places, you're going to get a feel of like the vibe of the gym too and see how they run it. Everybody has their own program at all these different camps within Thailand as well. In Phuket, it's really, again, catered to everybody. So you still, if it's your first time, you're going to probably have a good experience anywhere you go. But the most important thing is, again, are you getting out of your training that, like, for what you want out of it? What am I paying for? Am I getting the quality of training that I want? Am I getting the level of instruction that I want? I talked about on the last podcast episode, which was, I called it getting 1-2 kicked to death. All right. You want to make sure, like, if you're there to learn, then by all means, you want to make sure that you're able to get that quality of instruction from your instructor when you are in Thailand, right? Not all places are created equal either. Just because in Thailand as a Thai trainer does not mean it's going to be amazing. It's a common misconception for that, and in part due to like big marketing pushes by some of these camps and academies that are in these more touristy areas. And I can't knock them for it. They're a business. They're trying to make money, trying to make a living doing their thing, right? But it's good for you to know what environment you are getting into. There's other camps such as my friend Brian Dobler's Academy, Phuket Muay Thai, which is quite honestly is one of the best locations in Krupat Rivera. They're co-owners of it. It's on like the most prime real estate in Rawai Beach, which is like the southern tip of the island of Phuket. It's where you take the long-tail boats out to. I absolutely love it. Good training. You get training rounds in with every coach. So like if there's a coach maybe that's a little bit older, is not your style, doesn't matter. You're going to get to work with everybody, which is kind of cool. That's something that's a little bit different. And I think that's like Crew Brian's little twist on like the Thai style training. And you still get really awesome training. I also invested in some one-on-ones with their instructor, Crew Dato, and it was amazing, Dato Muslim. And you get other smaller training camps that are like this too, like Suit Thai Muay Thai, which like when I say small, I mean like they're small compared to these mega gyms like AKA Thailand, Bang Tao, and Tiger Muay Thai. All right. There's a bunch of other ones that are in the island of Phuket, and by all means, go check them out. When you are like booking an accommodation at one of these places too, it's pretty like there was somebody staying at Phuket Muay Thai that was training at Sinbi Muay Thai, which is another great gym. He's like, I didn't even know where I was staying was actually a Muay Thai camp. He's like, I would have just been here, right? So it's important to understand that everybody knows in Phuket, it's an island. Everybody knows each other, okay? But book an accommodation and plan on using Grab when you're in Phuket. Grab is like the Uber of taxis in Thailand. It's like they don't have Uber in Thailand. They did at one point, but they got rid of it. They made their own app called Grab. That is another thing you want to get when you go to Thailand, all right? The other thing is like the north of Thailand. If you go all the way up north, it's actually not that far. If you fly from Phuket to Chiang Mai, which is more the northern Thailand, it'll take you about 2 hours. All right, so that's the equivalent of me. If I fly from Bangkok to Phuket, it's equivalent of flying from California to Arizona, from Los Angeles to Phoenix Sky Harbor to Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you fly from California to Albuquerque, that's the equivalent of flying the whole country of Thailand, okay, from south to north. All right, it's not the true south of Thailand, but it's like from like the tourist south, right? Chiang Mai, Thailand, you're going to also get more tourists and backpackers there. The prices are going to be a little bit more affordable than Phuket typically. Chiang Mai is a large international city. When I was there actually earlier this year, it's funny, they actually had like a bunch of American flags around, and I found out that they are doing a big ceremony. The mayor of Austin, Texas was there, and they were doing a sister city celebration with Austin, Texas. Yes, Texas from USA. Go figure, right? So there's a lot of English speakers that are in Chiang Mai as well, which is like a benefit for people and tourists because it is a tourist town. So of course they're going to be speaking Mandarin, they're going to be speaking English, and of course Thai. So when you go there, you might feel a little bit more comfortable. There's tons of great food. There's a lot of great training there. One of the ones I recommend in Chiang Mai, I just visited it. It's very funny. I didn't realize who it was that ran the camp, whose camp it was. So it's Sit Thailand, which is in Chiang Mai. So Sit Thailand is a student of Thailand. So Thailand Pinsinchai, he was a famous golden era fighter. And I remember watching this guy fight. I think I saw one of his retirement fights at the original Lumpini. And I realized this when I was doing a one-on-one with him. I was like, oh, I know you based upon his movements and his techniques, because I've not seen a lot of people who do techniques in this manner, this footwork. All right. But I recommend that gym that's up there. There's a ton of other camps that are up there. There's the infamous Lana Muay Thai. I know the first founder of that camp did pass away, but it does seem like they're making a resurgence now as well. Going into that too, you can get good training up there, but it's going to be more relaxed. So like if you're really wanting to learn Muay Thai, like Thailand is a great place. Thailand Pinsinchai's place in Chiang Mai is a great place to go visit. I highly recommend it. Also, if you go to Bangkok, I recommended it last time, is Kit Kem Torn Gym. They are nearby the new Lumpini Stadium. So that's where they do one Friday night fights. And they do have a roster of people that from Kit Kem Torn Gym that are fighting on one Friday night fights and one championship. So you're going to get to go there and experience that, see these guys train and go fight on one championship. So that's a very unique experience in itself. Not only that is you are getting that good quality experience, like I was saying, where they're touching your hand, they're adjusting your hands, make sure you're fixing your Muay Thai and getting better and improving and learning their style. So what I mean by that too is if you go to Kit Kem Torn and they're like, hey, your kick's good, and they make adjustments, you can go to another gym down the street or down to Phuket or up in Chiang Mai, and they're going to say your kick sucks, right? In short term, they're not going to say it sucks, but they're going to say it's wrong. All right. When you go to those other places, they'll kind of ask where you're from, where you're training and stuff like that. They'll make some adjustments. If you speak some Thai, it helps them better understand what your background is. It's fine if you don't. If you're at these places for a couple weeks or more, like I say at least 10 days, 7 to 10 days is good. You can really get established with the trainer and get that rapport with them too. All right. So going with that, there is a ton of other camps that are in Bangkok as well. There's a whole plethora of them. And I recommend checking out some other ones too. But one of the great things about Kit Kem Torn that I really enjoy, food, room, board, and awesome training are all included with their price. So if you are interested in joining us, it's going to be in July 2024 in Bangkok, Thailand for 1 week of training with the team Pu'u Muay Thai. I have Crew Ed that's going to be coming out there, and he has some stuff in the works out there as well. I'm going to be there as well for the week. If you want to stay longer, absolutely stay longer. Show up a couple days before, go stay at another place down at Sukhumvit, and come join us for the training camp. If you are interested in joining us for that training camp, shoot us an email. I'm going to put it down in the show notes. You can also drop a comment, or if you're listening to this, the easiest way, just contact us to contact@muaythaiventura.com. You can join us for the training camp. We have a set price and everything like that. Make it nice and easy for you. Help you arrange transportation to and from the airport with the camp's assistance, and we can help you call a Grab or whatever we need to do to get you to the camp. They have a budget hotel that's just maybe, I want to say about 30 meters up the road from the camp, and it is great. Okay. They do have accommodations at the camp as well, but those kind of fluctuate depending on what's available. And you get to go there. There's also the SkyTrain, which is one of the main forms of transportation that it goes within Bangkok. There's also the MRT, which the SkyTrain can transfer you to the MRT. That's the subway that goes around Bangkok. So the SkyTrain being up in this part of Bangkok is new, and it allows you to get everywhere relatively quickly and what I mean by quickly is Bangkok fast, okay? Because if you're driving, it takes a long time because of traffic. But if you go into the MRT, it's going to save you a little bit of time. You're not stuck in traffic in a car and stuff like that. You can get out, grab some food, get back on. These kinds of things make traveling a little bit more, palatable, all right? So if you want to join us for that, definitely drop us a comment, drop us an email. Happy to link you up, get you all set up, send over some pricing information, stuff like that too. We have some other things that are going to be set up in there, along with going to the fights, going out to some of the night markets, and some other group activities as well while we are there. It's going to be a great learning experience, and it's something that I just recommend for anybody. If you're thinking about this, you're going to have a great experience out there. If you've never traveled to Thailand before, or you've never had international travel, traveling in a group can make it much easier for you. I understand too, for some women, it can be a little bit harder traveling by yourself. So having a group or a guide So I'd be helping you out, would be able to help guide you on where to go, where not to go, when to go, and when not to go, right? Or I can do my best to help try to guide you. The great thing about this is when you do come there, help you get linked up, go to fights, and kind of cut that learning curve so you have the best experience possible. Everybody that goes always raves about it, and it's something that I always enjoy looking back on the experience with people there, and we just have a great time. All right, so reach out. I would love to have that life-changing experience with you for the better. All right. Some other things to consider as well are visas. So depending on what country you're from, you're going to want to look up what your visa requirements are. So like for the USA, for example, we can get a visa on arrival. So it's very easy. You have your passport, you show up, you have a round trip ticket booked. That way it's showing that you're leaving with 30 days or less. All right. Because they give you a 30-day visa on arrival. You can get an extension for an additional 30 days for a 60-day maximum. Some other countries, so if you're listening to this and you're from another country and you want to join in, it's important to understand that there's going to be different visa requirements, and that's on you to figure out because for me, I'm no visa expert, but a lot of people do figure out. I've met people from all over the world, and it's one of the transportation and tourist hubs of the world, which is in Thailand. All right. The other thing to consider as well is if you're looking at doing a more long-term stay, like 3 months, the Tourism Authority of Thailand actually announced that they are doing a Muay Thai visa. All right. So a Muay Thai visa gives you 90 days to be able to be there in Thailand to study Muay Thai. So that's 3 months. This is a new visa, new of this year, actually. And it's a great thing because they're seeing so many more people come to Thailand and learn Muay Thai for that reason. That's the reason why they're in Thailand. So of course, again, it's a big tourist country. So they want to be able to optimize that experience for people that are coming there to spend money in their economy and keep that economy going. What's great about it too is you're going to want to definitely go to Lumpini. That's Lumpini Stadium and Ratchadamnern Stadium. So Ratchadamnern Stadium has entertainment style Muay Thai and it has stadium style Muay Thai. I recommend both. Both are great. They have serve a different audience, but if it's your first time there, you need to go see Ratchadamnern Stadium. All right, or Lumpini Stadium. Ratchadamnern Stadium is one of the original Muay Thai stadiums that's in Thailand, the first one in the world, dedicated stadium. All right, so it's still there. Go check it out. They're making like a whole preservation museum and stuff like that as well. They have like the picture of the first Muay Thai stadium belt. It's up in the front. It's actually not, it's a replica of one. So it's really cool to kind of see this all come together out in Thailand in an effort to encourage tourism and to grow the culture of Thailand and Muay Thai. Another thing a lot of people ask me about training in Thailand is, should I bring my own gear or like what kind of gear should I be bringing? So I really recommend like bring minimal equipment when you go. I know you probably have shin guards, all that stuff, but I recommend bringing like if you're a man, bring your steel cup, all right, just to have. I recommend a gum shield if you're planning on doing sparring or clinching. You don't have to do those things, but if you're planning on doing them, you want to have that. All right. I do recommend bringing shin guards if you have the space in your luggage, but it's not necessary. Most camps there will have stuff that you can purchase, especially in Bangkok. Not so much in Phuket, but in Bangkok you can definitely find equipment to purchase. There's tons of equipment shops that are in and around Bangkok. That's where it's all made. All right. So the other thing, what I usually do is I bring a small pair of bag gloves that I can put in my briefcase until I can buy a new pair of gloves or buy it from the camp that I'm at. Or if they don't have equipment that I'm wanting, I'll go to one of the equipment shops such as Action Zone. All right, Action Zone is a great one. You can also go to Lumpini Stadium. There's a Twins shop and there's a Fairtex shop there and a Top King shop. So you get like all these different mixtures of different equipment and brands, right? So if you're staying at Keith Torn, they also are a supplier of Sandy Muay Thai equipment. All right, so you can get your gloves there. You can get your shin guards there. Also, I recommend bringing a pair of Muay Thai shorts. Get a pair of Muay Thai shorts. You're going to buy more when you're there as well. It's not required though. If you need to, it's very easy to acquire a pair of Muay Thai shorts. Most tourist markets actually sell some like cheap starter Muay Thai shorts. Prices are going to vary depending on where you're at, but you can really find that stuff anywhere. Again, it's culture. It's like finding a baseball jersey style shirt at a flea market in the USA. All right, for my Americans that are listening out there. Or a football or soccer jersey for the Europeans out there too, okay? But the most important thing is making sure that you have all that. And your equipment, you can show up with nothing and really get it there. And it's very affordable because you're not paying import taxes to your own country. You're not paying shipping and, there's no middleman. You're getting it pretty direct from the supplier when you're in Thailand. All right. So get it all there if you need to. If you want to bring some stuff, the stuff I usually bring, like I said, is cup, mouthpiece, and I bring my gloves and a set of hand wraps. You can buy more hand wraps there. For me, I have a preference on hand wraps, but you can also buy hand wraps when you're there as well. But I'm stingy with mine because I like to protect my hands a certain way. So I bring my own hand wraps to have there as well. I also recommend, like, in your gear bag to bring some medical tape, like the sticky white tape that we use like to tape our hands and stuff like that. I recommend bringing war tape because regular tape does not stick as well in the humid climate in Thailand. All right, so bring the war tape. War tape is a brand of tape. If you're not familiar, I'll put the link down in the show notes. All right, for those of you on YouTube. If you are listening on the podcast, you can go check out my Amazon review page. I have links to the war tape on there, so that way you know you're getting the correct stuff. But that stuff has extra sticky glue on it, and it will stick much better, and it will last much longer in that hot, humid climate. All right. With that as well, I recommend basic travel insurance when you're there as well, in case you get sick or like injury happens, whatever it might be. It's just good to have just in case. Talk to an insurance agency if you need to, but most basic travel insurance is usually ample enough. But I'm not an insurance expert, just like I'm not a visa expert, right? So go do your research on that, and I highly recommend just having a blanket policy for you while you are there. All right, because it is a foreign country, you can get sick, these things do happen, and it's important to understand that to have those measures in place just to protect yourself a little bit. So one of the other things that people always ask me about when I'm there is like some basic health and safety stuff. People typically ask me, like, is there vaccinations that were required? There is some ones that are recommended, but to my knowledge, there's none that are required. The last time they had a requirement was during the COVID-19 pandemic, and they had like the test and go, and they're checking vaccination cards and stuff like that too. That is no longer in effect. So for me personally, I typically get a typhoid shot. I make sure, obviously I have hepatitis shots and stuff like that too, and tetanus shot. It's important for the typhoid because that happens, I guess, from like contaminated water or something like that, and you're in a developing country. Easy to get contaminated water, and I'd rather not have my trip ruined with something like that. All right. But, there's no requirements when it comes to a lot of people ask me about malaria. All right. Malaria, it depends on what part of Thailand you're in, but typically in Bangkok, they did have an outbreak at one point, but it was kind of a freak thing that happened, and it's not normal, okay? But dengue fever is a thing that does pop up in Thailand, especially in South Thailand and North Thailand. So I recommend also buying mosquito repellent when you're there. They make a lotion in a bottle. It works great. Put it on anytime you take a shower, put that stuff on. You put some on your face. If you are allergic to DEET, you're going to want to bring your own natural stuff or things that you're not allergic to, okay? Because it's going to be very hard to find stuff that is not DEET in Thailand. I know there's some natural remedies. Again, I'm not a health expert, so I can't make a recommendation on it. But you can get a lot of that stuff like at every convenience store in Thailand, and there's tons of convenience stores everywhere. 7-Eleven, believe it or not, is one of the most popular, and sometimes there'll be one across the street from each other on busy streets in Thailand. That's how many they have there. And you can find mosquito repellent at almost every 7-Eleven that's there, or any of the markets they have. Some people even sell them on street vendors and stuff like that too. But I highly recommend it. You do not want to mess with dengue fever because that will mess up your trip, okay? And you have to really just be aware of it because a lot of people go there and they go, for example, the heat. Oh, I'm fine. I drank enough water. You may have drank enough water compared to what you would have back home, but you're in Thailand with a humid climate. You're training twice a day, usually. You're profusely sweating. It's just overall hot. You're going to be sweating more. Your body's not used to it. So you're losing more water, salts, minerals, magnesium, these things that are going to help keep you hydrated. And it's important to make sure you have an electrolyte mix. All right. I actually use chewable tablets. They're called Salt Stick. Those are also on my Amazon review page. I prefer those because I find it hard to drink enough water during training. All right. And I lose the electrolytes. So it's hard for me to replenish it. So I chew those tablets while having water as well, just to kind of give me that extra boost. And I noticed a big difference in my training performance. And I'm very notorious for getting calf cramps, foot cramps. That cut way down on it. So I highly recommend Salt Stick. It is a great supplement. I get no endorsement from them. It's just a supplement I enjoy. All right. Again, the link for that is in the Amazon review page. I'll put that link for the page down in the show notes and here on YouTube on the description as well. Okay. The other thing to consider is, along with electrolytes, again, just with the mosquito repellent, like be up on that stuff because you don't want that to mess up your trip. It was like, oh, I forgot to put mosquito repellent on for 2 days and I got sick. All right. We don't want that. You can also, those mosquito bites is a very septic environment, right? So it's easy for those things, like if you're scratching it, to open up and get infected, which you don't want to happen. Again, it just makes it so you have a bad time. I'm not trying to scare you. I've been going to Thailand for 17 years, and it's something that I just really feel that is important for people to understand. Because I've seen, in those 17 years, I've seen a lot. Not everything, but I've seen a lot happen there. All right, for people that are training, I've seen infected spider bites, I've seen staph infections, all these different things that could have been prevented with a little bit of forethought. All right, so with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you'd like to support, go check out our PMT Lifestyle store. That one, we have all the new merchandise that's up on there. Again, I'm working on new merch every day to bring in, as well as like water tumblers and towels for training, tank tops, things like this as well. All right. If you are new to the podcast and you're just watching for the first time, remember to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, or give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like it. Right. And make sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. It means the world to us. Like having a written review on there, you guys, it means a lot. All right, so I have some more guests that are coming in. This is the first episode I've recorded in the new studio in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I should have had the episode already come out with everything on our new location. But if I didn't, that's coming up. All right. But with that said, thank you so much for tuning in today. And again, this is Jonathan Pu'u at Pu'u Muay Thai. Have a great day.
All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.pu'umuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.